So, get your money out of the bank. Hurry up and get your money out of the bank before it's all gone. It's going to be too late soon. And the banks, supposedly Bank of America, Wells Fargo, others have dropped the term bank and converted it into wealth management centers.
Huh.
Now, this is a comment that I received on my last video.
Okay.
So we're just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Not my words. Theirs, paraphrasing here.
Okay.
But really, I think the biggest threat to the U.S. dollar is, in fact, the U.S. Treasury. Or at least, depending on who you ask. And they are all hell-bent on driving us into debt. But I think the biggest problem right now is debt.
That was a comment?
No.
Oh, I was about to say, because I agree with that 100%.
No.
So that's you. Okay, never mind.
No.
I thought you were saying that was the comment, but you're saying that the
Remember the comments come from 1% of 1%.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I do, me personally, think the biggest problem right now is debt.
Okay.
And after chatting yesterday with someone close to me, getting ready to go through a divorce, I can say that there are a lot of Americans out there who are not prepared for the added debt burden that they are going to have to take on and be left with after being dumped and left alone on top of it all.
Especially when there's kids involved.
Love hurts.
And homes and assets in general.
Love hurts. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly...
It's hot on the outside. That's why I got the napkins, because I didn't have the little coffee sleeves.
I don't know if you can see the steam on this one.
Oh, you're going to burn your whole face off if you attempt this right now. Because you chug coffee.
That coffee will literally burn your face off. I can't see the steam, but it's there. But love hurts. And this is exactly why it's so important to make sure that you know what love is before you tie the knot.
I agree. Love is more than just a feeling, and that's what people forget.
And before you tie up your finances together.
Oh, yes. 100%
Joint accounts, investments, planning, getting ready before a big, nasty breakup.
The coffee's so hot right now, I can't tell if it tastes good or not. You know what I'm talking about? Like when it's so hot, you're like, it could be amazing, but it could be trash.
It's all right.
Yesterday's was better, right?
It's all right.
I think yesterday's wasn't as strong as today's.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why.
Yesterday, I got the last bit.
Oh, I mean, it was...
And it was almost like clear.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was see-through, so it's probably why it didn't work very well yesterday. This will keep you up till tomorrow, so we're good.
But we got another coffee shop. No, we tried that coffee shop yesterday, so I don't know which one if we're going to try another one before we leave.
Ooh, we could go back to Cowboy Coffee.
Cowboy Coffee.
We had that one. So in Glacier, that's Cowgirl Coffee, but here it's Cowboy Coffee in Jackson Hole.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I sent you a breakfast place too, but
I sent you the breakfast menu.
I didn't do a lot of research. I just
okay.
But China is looking to take over the world with new payments and transactions being made in yuan or won instead of USD. And I think today is the day for FedNow, CBDC. What I heard. Or at least that's what I saw on Economic Ninja's thumbnail title.
So at first I thought it was supposed to be July 21st.
I thought it was supposed to be July 1st.
It was supposed to be July 1st, and then it just kept getting kicked around like a soccer ball. And then the last I heard was July 21st, but that was on a Saturday, and the banks don't work on a Saturday, so why would they start now? So today makes sense. Today is Monday.
Do the banks really work? Depending on who you ask, the banks don't work.
I was about to say. But so the thing you said a minute ago, bank and wealth management, that was the comment?
Yep.
So we don't know that that's real?
Nope.
So it's just somebody saying that maybe they're thinking of that. Because if that was the case, bank is literally where you put.
I think that.
And wealth management means not put.
I think that what it is that it was heard or misheard. It was heard or misheard and then shared.
Okay, that makes sense.
Bank, wealth management. Banks have offered wealth management services all along.
Oh.
The problem is most people don't have any wealth to manage.
There's that. I'm still 100% listening to you, but that triggered my brain to think of something, so I'm going to try to find it real fast. But you keep talking.
I will keep talking.
And I will keep listening.
Because I have plenty to say or tell you.
Okay, I'm ready.
And this is about a video I made yesterday.
Okay.
And someone having their Bank of America account closed. This is while you guys were inside shopping at Target.
Okay.
What's up?
I'm going to talk about it on if we get to do the 2.0 live stream today, I'm going to talk about that. Because that was interesting.
What you witnessed inside of Target. It's funny.
And what the kid witnessed. Because I half pointed it out to her to see what she would do with the rest of it. And she saw exactly what I figured she would see.
Well, the funny part about it is I had another comment. And it said that, oh my God. Wait, hang on. Let me get into character. Oh my God. I can't believe you're still shopping at Target. Don't you know that only Democrats and progressives support Target? You guys we're all boycotting and banning Target. We cancel Target.
Oh my God, guys, we're all boycotting. Come on, you want to boycott too? No, that's not how it works.
How about this? If that's the case, then the only people supporting Target are the people who are trying to steal from Target. So, good luck with that, because if you live in an area, in a neighborhood, in a city where you have a Target, Super Target, as an anchor, and they go out of business, good luck. Watch everything around you crash and burn. Mm-hmm. But this was, again, like I said, people take these comments and then they take this information or this misinformation, or they're doing what you're doing right now. They're invested in something else. Mm-hmm. They're hearing me, but they're not listening to me.
Okay.
Right? So then when they hear something, then they'll think that they know something, right? And then they'll go back and they'll repeat it. And somebody left a comment and says, Kevin, you made this up. What I talked about yesterday, like, you made this up. There's no SARS. There's no banking SARS. And I said, as I remember, I said, I'm repeating this to you from memory because I'm not reading it in front of me, but it's something called SARS. Mm-hmm. And it was Suspicious Activity Report. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't remember what the other S was, but I was visualizing it in my head. And the SAR was capital, and the other S was lowercase. So it was plural. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was Suspicious Activity Reports. Mm-hmm. And they were like, there's no SARS in the banking industry. I'm like, okay, whatever. I searched 3 pages of Google. I couldn't find anything on it. And then they come back later. They go, oh, I found it. It's Suspicious Activity Report. No S at the end. I'm like, okay, well, if you have more than one report, then it's Suspicious Activity Reports. Uh-huh. And don't think that whatever news publication I was reading from didn't do that on purpose to be able to say SARS in their article.
Yeah. So the thing that I was looking for, when you made the comment about bank and into wealth management, whatever, it made me think of this. The article that I read from Axios about banking customers have woken up. It said, where is it? Banks, hold on. No, I had it and then I lost it.
It's only Ben's phone.
Oh,
Peter Griffin.
Is where it said Van Son said the bank wants to focus more on relationship lending. For some reason, it made me think of that because they're getting rid of the auto loans and the mortgage loans.
It's not what you do, it's who you do.
Yeah. So relationship lending, meaning you have to have your foot in there in order to get these loans, is how I remember hearing that.
If you have a business and you want your business, if you need funding for your business, where's the best place to go to get that money? Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Oh man, that's nice.
Hey, that's here. That's Jackson Lake.
That is nice.
Right?
Too
That's
bad,
where we
too
were
bad
yesterday.
I can't get that shot with my drone.
I know. That's where we were yesterday. That's Jackson Lake.
Wow. So the best place to go is Shark Tank.
Oh, I agree completely.
And Shark Tank,
Not at the bank.
You pitch,
Yeah.
And you can have multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire investors give you money.
Or
Why? Why do they give you money? Because of the relationship.
because of the relationship.
I like what you've done. I like what you've built. And I like you. Mm-hmm. Or I don't like you. Mm-hmm. It's relationship based.
Yeah. Yeah. But also the great thing about Shark Tank is even if the investors say no, yeah, that's why we need to hike next time.
I got a list of the 10 most beautiful or 10 best U.S. national parks. I got to read it to you later.
Okay, we got to go to all of them. But the other thing about Shark Tank is if you don't get the investors, you still get that, in theory, not everybody makes it on there, you still get that limelight.
Yeah.
And then you can have those angel investors that come in. You can have the people who want to do the startup kind of kickstart funds for you to help you out. You get people who are like, hey, listen, I really like what you had here. I'll buy all this from you.
Oh, you missed the barn. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. It's 8K. This joker's nasty over. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. A lot of people actually go on Shark Tank not to get the deal, just to get the exposure.
Yeah, the visual.
Either way, we can talk about that more. Because of this, I did a little bit of research and I saw that Citi Group announced. I really wanted to actually do this video in Jackson because I think there's a First Republic Bank in Jackson.
Oh, there is. Pause. We'll finish it there.
You pointed it out.
I did.
And you were like, they're closed. Wait, it's Sunday.
I was like, but are they closed for real or are they coming back?
So, I don't know. Maybe we'll do another one. I think we got to go through Jackson to get out of here. But Citi Group has announced business as usual. Wealth management. And that's the thing, again. Wealth management, we can't take wealth management as a negative.
To have a negative connotation?
No, not at all.
I mean, being able to manage your wealth is what keeps people from being broke. Plain and simple. You want to be able to pay your bills, you need to be able to manage your wealth. Whether it's high wealth, mid wealth, low wealth, if there's money, it's still wealth.
It may be 1 comma, it may be 2 commas, it may be 3 commas.
Yeah.
It may be more.
Managing it is the important part.
Exactly. But a lot of folks have been conditioned and trained and taught to not chase wealth and instead be turned off by the idea of wealth.
Well, that's the thing. You get a lot of comments. I get a lot of comments on it must be nice to, be able to go on vacation. Yeah, it is. I worked my ass off to be able to do it.
You drink Starbucks, you must be rich.
I'm just like, I don't understand.
You smoke cigarettes, you must be rich.
The people
I guarantee you smoking cigarettes costs way more than it costs to go to Starbucks.
It does. But I can guarantee you the people who have that mind frame are the same ones that don't realize it's like the government that's putting that mind frame on them.
I liked how Rob Dyrdek said it on Ridiculousness, one of the episodes we watched yesterday. He goes, every day, every year, we should be looking to get better and grow and build. And he goes, a lot of people are not like us. He goes, we're a power triangle of whatever he said.
Him and Stilo Brim and Chanel West Coast.
I was like, yo.
You want to be friends with Rob Dyrdek now?
Dog.
Yeah.
But either way.
I mean, he's famous for being on skateboarding first. He had skateboard stuff, and then him and Big Black at the TV
I just didn't
show.
expect him to say that. I didn't expect him to literally.
Because he plays this doofy looking kind of.
No. It's not that. It's not
Okay.
that. I never pegged him like that. I just didn't expect him to literally draw the line in the sand and alienate those who do not think like him right then and there. Like, I did not
Well, see, here's
expect
the
that.
thing. You call it alienate. I'd say it should be the people who don't think like him. It should be a push to think like him, not an alienation.
True.
And maybe that's what the problem is with the people who dislike the ones with wealth. They consider everybody that has wealth more than them the 1%. And all it is sometimes people who are willing to work harder than you were willing to work. So people are salty at them.
Yeah, but when the way he put it with that triangle, it's like even if one was working harder than the other two are still there, like it's going to be a collective effort.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get left behind. Top Citi Group executives say everything's back to normal. Banks open new wealth management centers. And senior Citi executives say it is business as usual in Citi as lenders look to expand, and Citi opens new global wealth management centers around the world and seeks to capture over $150 billion of new clients' money by 2025. Like, I don't see. All right.
No, you see where they're not saying open the banks.
No. Here's the deal. If you don't understand it, it says they want to capture new clients' money. So if you say it wrong, people will be like, oh, no, that's bad. They're trying to take your money.
Well, the fact they said they've opened up numerous new wealth management locations. They didn't say numerous banks. That's what they are. But because people have such a negative connotation with the word bank now, they've decided to rephrase it for themselves so that they are the standouts, so that it doesn't sound like a bad thing to be. Plus, wealth management gives you the idea, the thought process. They're going to help you figure it out, or they're going to help you manage what you have so that it's not all gone. It's all in phrasing and wording.
Talking
Was
about, speaking about wealth, what's up?
was it worth it? Because this costs more than Starbucks because we're in a hotel, which is
Oh my God.
stupid.
Do not visit Jackson Hole. Do not visit Grand Teton unless you got money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying got money. I'm just saying bring money.
Bring
like,
like the ability to pay a little extra because
this
it
is
is a
not going to
tourist
be,
spot.
you're not going to find a $10 meal. You're probably not going to find a $15 meal.
No.
You're going to probably find a $20 meal plus, and there are very limited options. So anywhere you go is going to be just as expensive, and they have created a monopoly here. And
They're not hurting. There's
No.
lines everywhere, waits.
not at all.
Yeah.
And in order for
every demographic you could possibly think of also.
in order for things like this to stay in existence, they have to do that. Which is what I've been talking about the longest time, is you have to make more money. You have to.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that this whole, what you call a 15-minute city, this whole compound here, does not care about what happens to the competition outside of these gates.
No, because
don't
they're
care.
not competition.
Well, but they don't care if they don't make it or survive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we do have to need a little bit of that cutthroat mentality of, I got to make more money. Why? Because everything costs more. Because prices are going up, inflation's on the rise, new fees, new costs, new added fees or whatever. I have to. Well, everybody can't. I'm not everybody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And not everybody is going to, I guess this is my Rob Dyrdek moment, not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to win. Not everybody's going to flourish. But if I have it in my mind that I can and I will, at least I'm starting off on a better foot than thinking I can't and I won't.
No, this makes me think about back in like the very beginning of the pandemic when I was going through the stores and trying to help everybody see what was going on with the prices, with the levels of stuff. And I would constantly make the comment, if there's 3 on the shelf, I'm only taking 2. If there's 4 on the shelf, I'll take probably 3 because I'm going to get what I need for my family. But I don't want to be that person that leaves the next person with absolutely nothing. And there's other people out there who are like, no, you should have got there sooner. And I can understand both mentalities, but I think it kind of just depends on.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Because it's a hard one to figure out.
I feel you. I feel like, though, mine's a little bit different because I'm not trying to take everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, I used to make 100K. Cool. Now I need to make 150K. All right, now I make 150K. I need to make 200K.
Yeah.
All right, I used to make 200. Now I need to make 300.
Yeah.
In comparison, knowing that there's people out there that make multiple tens of millions a year, I think I'm okay shooting to make $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
Why? To outpace this problem, to outpace inflation, especially this fictitious CPI number that they present to people that isn't actually true.
Because it's not based off anything that matters.
Now, speaking of wealth management, we were standing outside the Four Seasons, and you recorded some video of Four Seasons, which I'm looking forward to putting together, editing, and uploading to another channel. And I gotta say, it's business as usual.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's business as usual this Monday morning as well. Despite vacation and travel being at an all-time high, supposedly. But you gotta take that into perspective. Technically, everything's at an all-time high today.
But I'll say if they're just talking money-wise, then yeah, you're going to have better profits this year than last year. Even if you have the exact same foot traffic, or even if you have a little bit less foot traffic, you can still make more this year than last year because of inflation, because the prices have gone up so much.
Especially if you operate on margin. If you're making 10%, you're making 10%.
Yeah.
And if you're making 10% on $100, you made $10. But if you're making 10% on $1,000, you made $100.
Yeah.
You know?
And with inflation, you have a better chance of making more money off your margins.
But I came across this, ironically, I really expected this to be from a different publication, but it came from RV Travel. And they said that campground prices have hit an all-time high.
Well, I told you the KOA yesterday in something Silver Springs, no, something in Colorado.
$400?
It was like $320 for one of their cabins, whereas the one we're going to stay at tonight is $62 because it's just not in what they consider a high-end city, tourist city.
So it says, it feels like campground prices have hit an all-time high. We're traveling from Arizona to Minnesota and staying almost exclusively at private RV park campgrounds. Not by choice, but because I was too wishy-washy on travel plans and didn't book the now sold-out state and COE parks early enough.
State Park sold out quick this summer.
I don't know what COE is. Now, we have traveled similar routes from Arizona to Minnesota over the last 8 years, and I've come to expect higher campground prices near national parks and major cities, but not this. The major chains are running around $70+ a night, not including the add-ons of state tax, county tax, town tax, and lodging tax. These are the corporate buyouts, remodels, and new builds. A few are even using booking software similar to hotels that upcharge as the park gets fuller. Don't procrastinate, the price goes up daily.
So COE campgrounds are all about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer campgrounds.
Got it.
Yeah.
So mom and pop spots have caught on too. What was once $25 to $35 a night 2 or 3 years ago is now $55 to $60.
Think about those harvest hosts.
I was overjoyed when we camped for 4 days near National Park for $45 a night. However, when our assigned site was too small to put the slides out, we were charged an additional $2 a day to move. We are at their mercy. I have heard reports saying that RVing is cheaper than hotel travel, not cheaper than the hotels that I frequent. Add in gas, maintenance, repairs, and campground fees, and RVing has certainly become a hobby for the well-off, at least in a hotel. I usually have several to choose from, and they aren't hanging out a campground full sign. So I got my opinions on that. But I will say that I don't really see anybody scoffing, barking, complaining in the area.
No.
The people are lining up.
Yeah.
The wait lists are full.
Yeah.
The tabs come out. The bills get paid.
Well, this is one of those places where you have to know that if you're coming here, you're going to have money to stay and eat and do these things. Now, I will say that I was excited yesterday with Jackson Hole when we found the Bubba's Barbecue place outside of Jackson Hole, which technically a couple dollars cheaper, nothing crazy, but the portion sizes were huge. And then
It was a value play.
There was a Target right around the corner also, so we could go get the things that we needed that you can't get around here.
Ugh.
I don't care.
Insert Russell Westbrook face. You shop at Target?
Yes.
That Target was nice.
The Target was
very,
very nice. The inside was a completely different setup than I've ever seen, and it was very nice.
I wonder how new that Target is. But either way, the people here, the people like in it, they have adapted to it. They've become accustomed to it. It's second nature. It kind of is what it is. And whatever business that they're in, odds are they're charging more for what they're doing. And this is just that continuation, this continuous cycle of inflation, which normally wasn't a big deal when it was 2%, roughly 2%. Now it's really more like 20%, and then we're tapering back down to maybe like 10%. And that's why it's like you hit a little bump in the road, it's no big deal. You hit a damn pothole or a sinkhole, you can start crying.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about the servers. In Georgia, your servers are still making $2.13 an hour. In Florida, they're $6 or $7 an hour. Where was it that I asked the lady and she said she made $10 an hour? That was in Kalispell, $10 an hour. And then you get up into Seattle and it's $19 an hour because they have to go along with the price of living. And I've noticed that the farther Midwest up we go, it's more expensive. You would think that those places would actually be cheaper because that's your working class America, right? And everything there is so much more expensive than even in Atlanta or in Florida where we live.
I think that here you have a different attraction because of the landscape and what you have to offer, but you also have a limited seasonal schedule. So you got to make that money in 6 to 8 to 9 months where others have 12.
Well, do you think that their prices drop drastically?
No. I don't think they drop drastically. They may offer specials, but they definitely have less volume.
I wonder if they have local specials here like they do at home when it's not tourist season. But I think here it's always tourist season because when it's not summer, it's winter and you've got the ski resorts.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we got a lot we need to discuss on another video.
Okay.
People are risking their lives to move to areas that are hazardous to their health in search of affordable housing.
I can believe that.
But on top of that, there's a new map that has been released that's showing what parts of the United States are going to be underwater in the next few years.
Oh, that's interesting.
So some real estate could be underwater, which then makes other real estate inherently more valuable.
But also means that real estate right now should be much cheaper because they already know it's going to get lost at some point. So you willing to live there for a few years and then bounce?
But then supply and demand, as more people demand the supply of the affordable housing in these areas, the price is going to go up. But these areas are barren, desert, drought, high drought risk areas that, but then it's like the areas that aren't waterfront today could be waterfront tomorrow.
It's like that country song.
As the other areas are underwater.
I don't remember the country song, but it's something about if you believe that, I've got an oceanfront property in Arizona. It could be true.
Which is crazy. We can't keep lake levels up, but the country is sinking, literally, figuratively, into the ocean. But
you have enough earthquakes in Kenya's.
Well, Raytheon technology can actually create earthquakes. They've already admitted that, or at least some Corps of Engineers, maybe some other military folks have admitted that up in like Alaska or the Arctic Circle, that Raytheon Technologies, typically contracted by U.S. government, has the ability to create earthquakes. But more interestingly, is what we saw yesterday is the changes over time that have created Grand Teton. So to think that we're not going to continuously see and experience more changes is
stupid.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there were dinosaurs before. Now
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
So the other thing is, yes, it's expensive, but one of the things I pointed out yesterday was that we haven't paid for anything personally because all of this is a business expense.
Sure.
And I got to say, if you're traveling, if you're experiencing campgrounds, if you're pulling a trailer, if you're RVing, and you're not
recording it,
you're not monetizing that.
Yes, you've got to find a way.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
You're missing out on so many different opportunities. One of them being the business write-off. So essentially, I think the average tax bracket is around 25 to 28% for the average person, right? So you've instantly made your money 25 to 28% more, the purchasing power higher because you haven't paid taxes on it because it's going through your business. These are cost of goods sold, basically. The other thing is, we sat down yesterday, and I got the camera set up so we can record while we're eating. And side note, if you're going to record while you're eating, just be prepared for some people to lose their minds for whatever reason it may be, but no different than we would have had the conversation sitting there. We just recorded it. So I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah.
But she goes, "Are you famous?" And I'm like, well, odds are a lot of famous people visit Jackson.
Yeah, which makes sense.
A lot of famous people visit Jackson,
yeah,
especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And off camera, we're having this conversation. I'm like, well, odds are, depending on who you are, like there and what we experience in Canada and different places, if you are, even if you're not, and you're going to highlight their business, they want to give you the best of the best.
Yeah.
And comp you.
Yeah.
Without even asking for it.
We should have said yes yesterday. Should have been like, sure enough. Sure enough. Now, I did at the receipt, because I do it everywhere we go at restaurants, on the bottom of the receipt, after I leave the tip and everything, I put Squirrel Tribe Life on the bottom so they can go watch it, because then I generally talk about the restaurants and the servers and everything else. So you should get to hear her name.
Now, this RV Life continues to say, or RVtravel.com says, it takes us longer to get to our destinations in an RV, so therefore there are more campground fees. Gas is a lot higher in our diesel guzzler, which now I gotta pull this one apart. I gotta nitpick. He says gas is a lot higher in our diesel guzzler.
Well, you're also putting in way more gallons in that than you are in a car.
Gas is a lot higher in our diesel guzzler. Diesel's not gas.
Yeah.
So why are you telling me that gas is higher if you're putting it, like, come on now. But then it compares it to his little Kia, which we only spent like $10 a day to drive that Kia in fuel.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I'm actually glad they gave us a Kia instead of giving us like a Ford. They had a Ford Escape and a Ford
The Kia
Explorer.
Sorento was nice.
But Ford's got this recall now out because potentially their vehicles are going to catch on fire. So
They've had that numerous times, I think. It's like a known Ford thing.
You think they figured it out by now?
You would think built Ford tough would mean not explodable.
So the frustration of finding, they actually had a bad name years ago because of Firestone tires. It wasn't even there, but Firestone tires was just like
exploding tires.
But the frustration of finding and booking campgrounds is vexing. At least food is cheaper when we eat in the RV, theoretically, depending on where you got the food from.
Yeah.
Now we did do that the other night because it was late. It wasn't even that late, but after 9:30,
Everything closed in
so we left
Kalispell.
the movie. So we went and watched the movie. And I didn't realize that it was opening night for Oppenheimer and Barbie. And did they show, what's that other movie with Mel Gibson? Sound of
Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
There was no preview for that.
Was that was that an
It was
option?
listed.
Okay,
It was listed.
You could
see
watch it.
There was like one movie time.
All right. So I didn't realize it was an open night. There was so many people there. They were dressed up.
Oh, yeah, because the kids were all dressed up like Ken and Barbie stuff. Like they went
who puts
hot
high
pink
heels
80s.
on to go and do a movie?
It was great. I loved it.
On a Thursday. And then I remember Thursday night movies come out Friday, but Thursday night, the late showing is like the first one you can see. But most people have to go to work, so they never got a chance to do that. But now people work from home, so it doesn't really matter. And we were watching Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And after that movie was over, it was around 10:30. There were very few food options besides like a casino, which apparently everything in Montana is a casino, which is maybe there's some sort of financial incentive as a business to be a casino with the state. But anyway, we weren't going to do that, so we ended up going to, was it Albertsons?
Albertsons.
We ended up going to Albertsons, and they were open till 11, I think. So we just went and bought groceries and took them back to the hotel, took them back to the lodge, and it was cheaper.
Bought the convenience of bag salads and
So if you would have bought a head of lettuce,
and all that other stuff, it would have cost way more, and we would have had to throw it away because we were leaving the next day.
and that's kind of like, what's the one that sends you food?
HelloFresh.
They send you what you need.
Yeah, and nothing more.
So then you got to come down. You got to think about is it the value play or is it not wasting food play? But either way, it says that we are using Harvest Host when we can and state parks when there's a cancellation. We finally scored a reservation at a Colorado State park, but alas, not a lot cheaper, $46 a night because we are out of staters. This may explain a lot of open sites. It doesn't average out the high costs of the private RV parks, though. It is a big chunk of change to go from point A to point B, but I'm stuck by my love of RVing, which I still have that love, so we got to get that van ready to go.
Yeah.
And even still thinking about Henderson State Park, it took us like 8 months to get in there. Like,
And then we never did go.
forgot about it. We forgot. He called me. He goes, "Y'all still coming tonight?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm in Atlanta." Like, anyway, it says that I'm totally and completely stuck. As much as I complain about it, I love RVing, seeing different places, having our own stuff, and sleeping in my own bed. The moral of the story is to make our reservations sooner, compare prices, and try to set some sort of budget. I like that. I like how he closes this with the positive solution to the problem.
As opposed to just bitching the whole time.
Realizing that, the prices are up, but I can get the best price if I plan and prepare.
Ahead. Yeah.
Okay. But again, for some, these campsites, these fees, the fuel prices going up, it's put a dent in summer travel and forced many of them to park their rigs and put them in storage instead of paying the higher prices to roam the country as nomads, or instead take their chances on BLM sites or even go stealth camping.
I always thought it was funny that BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management.
Depending on who you ask.